Om Shanti. So welcome all of you to the Values Workshop series today on appreciation. And before we begin, we'll just spend a few minutes, invoke the Divine Supreme Being for the workshop. And let me ask myself, am I really appreciative in my behavior? And also tell myself that from today's workshop, let me try to pick up a few tips on how to be genuinely appreciative with others. It's a beautiful chance. I'm able to give myself this time to ponder on this value of appreciation in the form of a workshop first, and then a beautiful talk by our very senior sister Moira, joining all the way from Argentina. So with this, I'll just stop sharing the screen. And welcome all of you. And thank you so much, Sister Moira. Welcome for the workshop as well. Yeah. So I'll just start sharing the screen and tell you all what we'll be doing today. And as usual, we have our facilitators with us. So it is Sister Anu joining all the way from Vancouver. Welcome, Sister Anu. And we have all the other interpreters as well. We have 3 languages this time. So the interpretation, I think, will be starting after the workshop, except for the Turkish, which will be right from now itself. So as you can see, we have conducted these since almost now more than a year. And last we covered was generosity, the workshop, and appreciation today. So with this, I would just now pass it on to Sister Anu for the first activity. Over to you, Sister.
Okay, Om Shanti. Welcome everyone. Thank you, Manoj brothers. So I'm sure with that silence meditation at the beginning, we are all into the space of appreciation. So let's start with a simple question that what is that you feel appreciative of in your life? Share just one aspect. Can be anything, person, situation, or what is it in your life that you feel you appreciate? It can be many, just one. We want you to share spontaneously right now. You can put in the chat box, or if you are motivated, you are ready to share with us, you can unmute and say just one thing that you appreciate in your life. Simple question. Anyone? I'm sure we all appreciate so much, so many things in our life. You can put it in the chat box or unmute and share. I can start. For me, this moment, I appreciate the most at this moment with so many beautiful people from all over the world at the moment. Okay, so feel it. What is that you appreciate in your life? Now I stop the sharing. I think in the chat box, yeah, we got something already. Calmness, which Paul Malhotra brother says calmness. Linda says confluence age. Okay, that's something specific for her, a particular time. This life, Kavita says this life. Fernando says amor. Okay, hello, I think in Spanish. Maybe we look at that.
Amor means peace. It's a Portuguese word, I think. Amor means peace.
Means love. It means love.
Is it love? Okay.
Oh, so sweet. Love. Is it in Portuguese, Sister Moira?
I'm not reading your chat. One sec.
No worries.
Yeah, it is in Portuguese. Amor is the
Okay.
Portuguese word. Yeah.
Yeah, it means love in Portuguese as well.
So we all appreciate love in our life, definitely. Fernando brother, perfect. Amor or love. Then, patience. Manoj brother says nature around. Apurva says to be connected to God. She appreciates that. What else? What do you appreciate? We want to hear from you. I'm sure you appreciate something. Let's start with that. Yeah. Pallabhai says, my body, family. Vidhi says, family. Again, life. Right. So at least, very general way, we can see something. Yes, we appreciate our existence. And I'm sure as we'll move through the exercises, we'll get into deeper understanding and taking appreciation practically to our life. So, Hilal, sister says, all I have known. She appreciates the knowledge. Anything else? This is called icebreaker or warm up. So we are warming up to appreciation. So it would be great if we can hear from all. And if not, maybe we are ready to move to our first exercise. I'll hand it over to Manoj. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you all of you all for your sharings. I can just see you all are a bit inhibited. Is it because Sister Moira, such a senior sister, is around? Just kidding, jokes apart. Yeah. So actually you all are very fortunate. In the workshops, we are usually wanting you all to come out with your sharings, with your feelings about that particular value. So please don't feel inhibited from anyone here. Please feel free to voice your opinions and even your comments on anything, whichever we are asking you. And other thing is, we have Vidhi's sister with us. So quite a few people are new. So you can please send your emails and WhatsApp numbers to Vidhi's sister so that we can send you all the materials after the workshop and even the invitations for the future talks and workshops. Okay, so let us go in the...
Sorry to interrupt. If anyone needs Spanish interpretation during workshop, please let us know in the chat. Let me know, then we can continue. We can start it Spanish. Otherwise, it will start only after 45 minutes.
They already say that they need.
They need, okay.
They're looking for interpretation in Spanish.
Okay, so Sister Olga can start interpreting in Spanish, yeah? Yeah, perfect. We're ready. Thank you, sister.
Great. Thank you, Olga, sister, for being ever ready. Thanks. Okay, so let's move on to the next exercise. And this is going in the depth of understanding what appreciation is all about. It's a very beautiful exercise, which I'm sure you'll enjoy a lot. So as you can see, there are blank boxes. We are not playing a game. There are no rules, but there are 4 basic principles when we appreciate each other. The first one is it has to be sincere, by which I mean it has to be genuinely coming from the heart, from the within. If I want to appreciate, I should. It should not be just on the face value that, oh, just to please someone. No, it should be coming from within. So that's the first rule. It will help you in maintaining an eye contact with the person. Second is be specific. For example, if I'm a doctor and if there's a nurse who's done a fantastic job in the operation theater, so I must not say, very good nurse, thank you. That's something very general. Specific means, oh, thank you, nurse, so much for being dash, 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 which means for setting out the table properly with the instruments. You gave me the instruments on time. So that's being specific, because that will really help in pinpointing that particular task which the person is doing, and that will have a deeper effect rather than just saying thank you or good show, right? Third point, identify the quality, or what we say, the human quality or the value behind that. So again, if I want to tell a nurse that she's taken care of the child whom I was who's one of my patients. So I can say, fantastic nurse, you have looked after that child with so much of affection, love, and care. So these three are the qualities or the virtues which I have identified in that individual. And that will definitely make a long lasting effect on that appreciation. So I hope you understand. Identifying the human quality gives the appreciation a depth, and people can really, it can make miracles. It can really change people's life. For example, if a nurse is going through some up and down things in her life, but just a simple word which you have told her with the quality in that, it will really make her day, and she will have a long lasting effect in her memory track for that thing for her entire life. And lastly, I think the fourth principle is very important: beware of spoilers. I'll give you an example here, that if there's a junior doctor with me who's assisting me in the operation theater while performing a surgery, I tell him, oh, that's good, you have done a good job. I be very specific as well. Oh, you held the retractor very well, and you were very good, you were on time. So I've identified the quality as well. But I tell in the end, I tell him, why the hell can't you do that daily? That's a very routine thing in our outside world, which we are. People appreciate you, but then they just throw water on that, by which I mean that it's just fully spoiled. So might as well not appreciate a person if you want to add that spoiler in the end. So that's the other example I have given, that why don't you do this more often? So that's the thing which I had told you. So looking at these four principles or tenets, I'll just repeat them. Be sincere, be specific for the act which is being performed, identify the human quality associated with that, and very important, beware of spoilers. So I'm sure it's nothing very difficult to remember. So what we'll do now in the next activity is write down some sentences of appreciation, as I had given you a few examples, and pertaining to three important, I must say, situations. First, a junior of yours with you. Second is a senior person. A senior person also can do good things, and I should know how to appreciate him or her as well. And finally, it is your same level, which is your colleagues at workplace or even at home. So at home, even if you're not working, you're a homemaker, you still have hierarchy at home as well. Someone is junior to you, like your kids. Someone is senior to you, your in-laws, your uncles, your aunts, and colleague is maybe like your spouse, your husband or wife, whatever. And remember these four rules, they are mentioned specifically on the right side. So I'll give you, say, around 2-3 minutes. You can write down these sentences based on these four rules, and then we'll start take sharing. And I'm sure you all will be able to share more, and you all will be more motivated and inspired to share your sentences of appreciation. Okay, I'll just play some soft music, and you can work on this. Okay, welcome back. I can see people busy writing something on your notepads. Fantastic. So I would request people to please open up, and you can type in the chat box, no doubt, but you can please feel free to share your sentences of appreciation. So anyone wants to start? You can just raise your hand or unmute yourself and start speaking. Yeah, Arun bhai, you want to? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, while talking to the juniors, I would say you are very good at your analysis and decision making. And you are a team member. But just to caution him on the time factor, as you mentioned, these are you have to improve on the timing, and it will help us to develop more for giving a good output what is expected. So this is one that comes to my mind. About the seniors, I'm coming up with you are a motivator, and you are motivating, I think, your motivating words are helping us to achieve the targets. With your smiling face, with your cool character, it helps the team to be bold, and it allows them to open their minds. This is what I will appreciate. And I have not thought about the suggestive things for the boss, but what I would say is sometimes you are aggressive in terms of your communication. And if you bring down your aggression and too many demands in a short span of time, you can communicate a little bit differently. This is what comes to my mind. On colleagues' side, I will come a little bit later. I have to have some time. Let others comment. I will come on.
Good. Thank you. So you have given us a nice spoiler as well. So it's good to know the spoilers are there, and we need to avoid using the spoilers, but it is good. We should be discussing here so that we know that we should not be doing that in the world where we go. I can see Dr. Mehta having a hearty laugh. So Dr. Mehta, you want to share something? You have to unmute, sorry. You have to unmute, Dr. Mehta. Yeah.
I joined a little late, but I'll tell you what I have written. Juniors, you are progressing. Your progress is excellent. To seniors, you are great. We love you. To a boss, I could not have a better boss. And to colleagues, I have the best colleagues available. I'm in the best company.
Okay, great. So no spoilers you want to mention so that we don't use them, but that's fine. Yeah, no problem. Thanks.
You muted yourself, Manoj brother.
Sorry. So I can see Brijpal bhai, people who have on their video want to share probably. Brijpal bhai, go ahead. Okay, he's disappeared. No problem. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I have given in the chat box. So
yeah,
if you want me to repeat, I can repeat.
Yeah, you can say it, no problem. Yeah, it will be good to hear you.
For juniors, I will say that your sincerity, punctuality, and result in time has won my appreciation. To the seniors, I will say your approach of handling work and the juniors is worth appreciating. And to the colleagues, I will say that the teamwork is worth appreciating.
Okay, good. So as you can see, all of you have definitely been specific, and also all have identified beautiful qualities: punctuality, sincerity, working hard. Even Arun bhai said quite a few things I don't remember now, but you all have done. And you all haven't written any spoilers. Actually, Geeta Gupta is saying, I am a motivator too, not a spoiler. Yeah, thank you, Geeta, for saying that. I'll just read your what you have mentioned in the chat box. So you're saying for seniors, you'll say, You're very understanding about me and I respect you, right? For a junior, you'll say, yes, you have done it very well and very well explained and done a good job, right? And colleagues, you're saying, I know your thoughts and positivity, which you deserve, for which you deserve cooperation all the time. And I learned so much from you and your team. So fantastic. So all of you, I'm sure, know how to appreciate. I was wanting to purposely introduce spoilers here so that we are aware of them and don't use them. Rather, I must say beware, be aware, beware of them. So can a few people share a few spoilers just to make it more humorous? We know we shouldn't be using them. Vidhi sister, you are again having another smile. You want to go ahead, please?
Yeah, so usually I appreciate very nicely, but then some at the end I would say, but next time just try to do it this way. You know, I would kind of very humbly put my suggestion, though they have done their best, which is not so good. So I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what even Arun brother got it. Yeah, he's raising your hands. I'll just complete the sentence first. That giving a feedback, it's actually good to give feedback, but I think during the appreciation, we should not be giving a feedback because that becomes a subtle spoiler. Yeah, Arun bhai, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I will give some practical examples what happened in the organization in which I was working. When you are working or talking on one-to-one basis with your seniors, they actually are motivating you to like 360 degrees communication or review processes. If they are there, then you are reviewing and giving your candid opinion to the seniors. In that case, they are expecting what improvements they can have in their professional activities, and there they really want candid opinions from your side. In that case, as I believe from the objective perspective, even in the last session when we were talking about, that time it was the objectives are the first and then the appreciation comes second. This was the comment which was made. So when we are like in the say BK family, for example, when we are working together in hand, then it is appreciation with suggestions is always good. It is not hitting somebody, but it is communicating where you can improve. I think with the good heart, like I communicate to my friend, I will do it in that manner. So that's what I personally feel. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's
No, that's fine. Point taken very well, because as we said, the first thing is be genuine. So if it is something coming from the heart and it is to help in improvising someone, absolutely it is needed as a suggestion. Fantastic. Thank you. No one is right or wrong in workshops. We always say that it's everyone's perspective. So no need to worry about that. Geeta sister is fantastic spoiler. She's saying you could do it better. She's, I think, said to her sister, you are a good cook, but today nobody enjoyed the food you have cooked. My God, that's really a nice spoiler, actually. And she's saying you could do it better. So again, that's really a good spoiler. So thank you so much, Geeta Bhen. If you just want to maybe, I'm taking the liberty to, hope you don't mind me, if you can just on your video and show us your face. Is that okay? You want to do that? It's great. A good spoiler, which we should be aware of. We should not be using them. Then Rachna's sister is saying, yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll just read a few more spoilers because its time is going up. Thank you for such a beautiful dress, so thoughtful of you. Oh God, I wish you had chosen a better color. Yeah, that's another spoiler, which we usually do. Very common in female gender about colors, but nevertheless, men have their own different things. Vijay Bhai is saying spoiler is not to thought or repeated, not even in this to ask writing. Okay, so Vijay Bhai is very strict with us. He's saying don't think, because the more we start thinking, the more we may start use it. Yes, that's good. Thank you, senior brother, for saying that. So no spoilers, never should be used. Fantastic. I enjoyed, though it was only few people have spoken, but I think the message has gone through across that what are the basic requirements for appreciation. Thank you so much, all of you. And the progressive number of participants have started increasing. So I will now move on to the next exercise. Over to you, Anu sister. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Manoj brother. Yeah, that was really beautiful. It's important to know that how do we appreciate. So we'll move more deeper into to the self. Of course, that was what we did to the self as we were noticing others, what they're bringing to our life and how to appreciate. So now we will strengthen that within us. What does that appreciation do to us? So for that, we'll go through a few minutes of visualization, more experiencing this value of appreciation, what it can do to us, and then we'll move into more action planning exercise after this. So let's start. Sit comfortably and relax. So as I relax and sit here and turn within, feel the silence that is within. And as I turn within and feel the silence, I can feel the silence all around me, even if there is noise. And in this inner silence, I bring my attention to all that my life has brought to me that I appreciate. I feel the gratitude. And then I feel the growing peace within me. So in the inner silence and peace, I become aware about all the beautiful qualities I hold within. I feel the calm, the love, respect, acceptance I have for others. So I appreciate everything that I have, starting with my body, my relations. I have the appreciation for this very moment. So with this awareness of my real beautiful self, I go on a journey of visualization. I see myself at my workplace. As I'm walking down the corridor, whomever is coming in front of me, I'm greeting them with a smile full of gratitude and appreciation. I'm interacting with all with the appreciation of their presence, of sharing their energy with me. Just having the vision of appreciation for others fills me up with a deep sense of satisfaction and joy. As we sit together for a meeting to accomplish any task or project. I appreciate everyone's contributions. Everyone is contributing their zeal, their enthusiasm, their respect, their talent. So as I see my energy of appreciation flows through my attitude, my vision, and my feelings, everyone feels motivated, valued, and the comfort to share. So our interactions continue so beautifully. And as the task is accomplished, everyone takes with them the joy, satisfaction in their hearts. And the energy of appreciation fills me up with contentment. Where there is appreciation in the atmosphere, there is so much peace, accomplishment, and joy. With this beautiful thought and a visualization of how appreciation can bring beauty to our life, to our relationships, to any project. Let's look at ourselves in the next exercise, that what would be the appreciative behaviors that I can strengthen more in me or bring in actions more at my workplace. For that, we'll go through this reflective question, that what thoughts and words should I be using at workplace to make my behavior appear genuinely appreciative? We saw we have to be genuine, all these 4 rules, but we'll focus on what kind of thoughts you want to think about others or whichever way, and the words, so that you will come genuinely appreciative to others. So we'll take just about a minute. Please write it down, and we would really love to hear from you, because we inspire each other from our thoughts and words that I may not have thought about. So let's spend a moment and 1 minute, and then we will come to sharing with each other. Thank you. I hope you have written. We are emphasizing on workplace. It can be wherever you spend your whole day, at work or at home or with whomever. So what would be your thoughts and words of appreciation then? So are we ready to share? I invite all of you to unmute and share. So Vidhi says on the chat box, everyone has specialities. However, we want to hear from you more than chat box. Yes. Gulden, you're ready. You have raised hand. You want to share?
Yes,
Or you have a question? Yeah.
I will say a few sentences. First, I applaud he, her, or him, and look at with smiling face and also especially smiling eyes. Okay, because as you know, smiling eyes says lots of things to others. And I said him or her, you did your best, and you give a beautiful, generous approach to do this task.
Beautiful, generous. Yes.
Approach. And you open our vision, our mind to do lots of good things in the future or for this project or for this task. We will do lots of good things not about. You give lots of thought that caused our achievement. Okay, thank you.
Very nice. Beautifully you drafted it. And it starts with a smile. Genuine smile itself appreciates. And
Shanti, speak.
okay.
Yeah, what we appreciate in our working situation, home or outside, is first the quality within myself that I can see outside. If I have a dark cloud inside me, the entire day I cannot see the happiness spreading, how much they may be happy, but I have to appreciate my own strengths and qualities within myself first. And then I can just radiate that happiness to others and it will come automatically. And my happiness and radiance will reflect on others. And when I call myself, I'm a praiseworthy person myself, I only radiate the vibrations of praise. Praise leads to peace. Peace leads to praise. That is first, I will go within myself before I work on others. So I know I have a lot of strengths and a lot of qualities. And that is also lying very under the subconscious mind level. So I have to just come into the terms with those qualities that I have by practicing it myself.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. I think I'll read. Manoj brother has written thought. Everyone is intrinsically good. Word, I respect your contribution. So in this exercise, let's focus on what thought I would have for somebody else and word. So that's beautiful. So Vidhi sister says thought is everyone has specialities and words, keep it up, keep inspiring others. So you can think of somebody at your work or someone and what should be my thought and word comes with an appreciation, and definitely that can motivate, right? So yes, who else is ready? Yes. I will request whoever is not speaking, please mute yourself. BK Arun brother, you want to say? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, as I have worked in different countries, there, first I worked in Kazakhstan, so I was not knowing Russian language. But when we learned thank you, spasiba is the word. So I first learned the appreciation in Russian language, spasiba. And if you have to really, when you speak in their language, they really appreciate. So большое спасибо is the another word which I use. Then I worked in Romania, where I wrote, it's a mulțumesc. Mulțumesc is the word for thank you. And then now in Luxembourg, where French is coming, merci beaucoup is the word which is coming in. So these are the words which I picked up And then they ask what you say in your language. So when we say, we communicate our. So these are the basic gestures which I learned, and it really helps. And saying it thank you very much really gives a big appreciation, I would say, in their own language. That helps actually.
Beautiful. Thank you, and learning in their language and saying makes a big difference. Thank you for sharing. Rachna says, gratitude is the thought, having gratitude for all. And words, what would I do without you? That's nice. Anyone else? We would like to hear from you. How would you appreciate others in thoughts and through your words? Anyone? You must have a special way. How would you appreciate others? It's good to share, right? Okay, I have on the chat box, Vijay Pal brother says, S for smile, S for sweetness in speech, S for stable in mind, S for simplicity, S for sympathy, for appreciating others. All S for appreciating. So just thank you. Sheetal says, thank you is the appreciation. Yeah, anyone has any particular example that any particular person at your workplace, and particularly what kind of thought or feeling you have to have, and the words? Maybe Dr. Mehta, we can hear from you.
Well, I have written, I enjoy working with you, which I normally used to tell to all my staff. You're so full of new ideas. You bring a lot of energy, and your contribution is going to make significant significance to our organization.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Inspiring, and that appreciative words that inspires fully. Okay, Jujar says appreciate mentally 100%. So it has to start from thought fully. Jay says, look at the one I appreciate with sincere smile and say, what do you say, brother? Thank you, maybe. Kavita says, appreciate with a clean heart and pure feelings. Yeah. So we come down to that only. The thoughts have to be pure, genuine, and then the words will automatically shape up. So I think with this, it's good time to wrap up, maybe. Maybe Apurva, if you have written, we can just show quickly before we move on to the next one. Okay. Very nice. We have got some thoughts and words, and we can add more to this list as we take home today. So everyone is intrinsically good, the thoughts, everyone has specialities. Start with a genuine smile. So the thoughts have to be genuine from the heart, positive within myself, and radiate vibration of peace and praise to others. And words, I think a lot we got from Dr. Mehta. I think we'll add that maybe when we'll share the review material. So I'll hand it over to Brother Manoj for the next part. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for being interactive finally. Okay, so I will now break your interaction. Sorry for that, but you appreciate me for that, because I need to share something with you all about the talk on appreciation, which Vedanti Didi had given last weekend. So I'll just give you a synopsis and a snapshot of what she had said. And this will be very quick, and because we have already Sister Moira who's joined us from Argentina, so I would want a person to share live with you rather than just me showing you all the stuff. So request people to mute themselves. Right. So Vedanti Didi said that appreciation is the key to success in every step. So she beautifully pointed out that ask yourself every day, am I giving value to my life, whatever I have in life? Or I am just sort of getting up early morning and rushing through, pushing through my responsibilities and roles, whatever I'm playing. So when I start giving value to that, whatever I have in life, then life becomes a gift of God. And then another virtue very closely related to appreciation, I feel, is gratitude. So the moment I am grateful for everything in life, appreciation naturally happens. She was saying appreciate each and every part of your body. I think Anu's sister in the visualization, she touched that aspect. And even a brother said that I should be appreciative for everything the body is doing for me and get support from it. And not to forget that the body is controlled by the most important driver, the soul, because all these values are nothing but in the soul, they are not in the body. And the basic aim at Brahma Kumaris is to awaken these innate values by recognizing them. And I feel at this point, I would want to share this, that the basic aim of doing all these workshops, though we have talks from senior Rajogi brothers and sisters all over the world but the basic aim of these workshops is to help you think about that value, reflect on that a bit, share it with other people, because the more we talk about the value, the more we can walk the talk, as it is said in English. So the more then we think, oh yes, I'm not able to do this, and getting inspired from someone sharing in the meeting, we feel, yes, I must be able to do that because someone else can do that. And very important is, Didi said, appreciation is not only valuing self, but also valuing others. And here she brought this point out very beautifully, that it is my subtle ego which doesn't allow me to appreciate others. Because somewhere or the other, I have this inside me, oh, this person is going ahead of me. So there's a little bit of jealousy creeping up, little bit of enviousness coming up. And that leads to this subtle hatred which is there. And all this stems from ego. But as you all beautifully pointed out, that all of us intrinsically have qualities and virtues. All of us are made up of that. So we don't need to worry if someone else has got another speciality. I have my own speciality and I can use that and maybe use it so much that I can be an embodiment of that value. So this subtle ego should not be in between. Then Didi took us in detail of whom to appreciate. She started with a nice story about her father, and I'll cover that in the question and answer if I get time. But she said she tries to first ask this question to herself, who am I? And the moment she asks this question, immediately the basic 7 core values which we have, her attention is drawn to that. So talk with the self that yes, I am a soul, I have these intrinsic values, and I am a child of God. And this way, from the soul, then we move towards Supreme Soul. So appreciating the self for who am I, appreciating the Supreme Divine Being who has got me into this world, appreciating the 5 elements around, because my body is also made up of these 5 elements. And the more we appreciate those 5 elements, the more I'll be able to keep healthy. And also finally appreciating, she also mentioned, not mentioned here actually in the slide, about our parents and teachers, because these are the few people who I'm in contact with right from childhood. My parents are the first ones. And then as I grow older, I go to school, it's my teachers. And beautifully here at Brahma Kumaris, it reminds me that why don't you establish as a soul this relationship, these few relationships with God, the Supreme Soul, of a parent, very important, as a teacher, most important, I feel, because at Brahma Kumaris, we are listening to these divine versions daily. And a teacher, the Supreme Teacher, is trying to teach us those things. And beautifully, those divine versions talk about all the different values, how we can inculcate them. And the Supreme Teacher appreciates us all the time, despite we not doing the homework, coming and sitting there and not doing the homework, but he's still so appreciative. And what is the outcome of appreciation? Didi said that if you appreciate someone, you are trying to reinforce the positive sanskar in that person. So that person feels motivated to develop that if he or she has not got in him that thing. She says the garden will start blossoming. So all the flowers in the garden. So I must say, life is a garden. And when we start using virtues, our garden of life starts blossoming with them. She gave a beautiful example that how a person was very violent and angry with her. in Africa. She was speaking about 20-30 years ago. And she just stood there. I think that person had come to shoot her. And Vedanti Didi said, "It's okay. I'm all yours. You can do whatever you want." So, I mean, it needs a lot of courage to do that. But what she did is she transformed that whatever anger she had in the brother who was trying to threaten her. She just used this appreciation. She just told him, "Come on, I'm yours. Whatever you can do, it's fine." So she just transformed it, and that brother felt very supportive, because it's really the brother would have been taken aback that how come this sister whom I'm trying to shoot with a gun is being so supportive with me and just surrendering to me. So that's what she said, transformation, the power of transformation. In Hindi, we call it parivartan karne ki shakti. Didi said appreciation is a great key which transforms souls from being negative to positive, which is one more example which I've just given before. And she also said, I don't know how to explain this, but she said appreciation is my mobile. Like nowadays, in this age, if we look, mobile is something which we have to carry on with us all the time, 24/7, a very important thing for us. So same thing, appreciation is actually the need of the hour, because souls are really thirsty. And if I keep appreciating on those 4 rules, which we just discussed in the first activity, I think it can really transform people and help them to come out with their good qualities which are already within them. And also gives peace and courage to those who need them. So Didi said that is the outcome of appreciation. And finally, she said appreciation changes the world. As is our slogan at Brahma Kumaris, self-transformation leads to world transformation. So appreciation can really transform people and thereby the world. Beautiful. Didi gave us, I think, almost 30 minutes for question answer. So I'll just take a few. A question was asked, how do I know whether a person is genuine or not when he's appreciating me? It reminds me of the activity which we did. So Didi said, don't try to analyze what the person's motive is inside, what is his intention inside. Just go with the appreciation and accept it positively. Even if their intention inside is not right, but your intention, because you have accepted this positively, will change their intention. So a beautiful answer, I feel. Next question was, when we are genuine, people think we are trying to please each other. Though I'm genuine, but people don't take me in that way. So how to deal with this? So again, Didi said, when you are genuine, you don't need to think about what others are thinking about you. Just keep doing it, because it is God's work. We must say God is an ocean of appreciation, as I was mentioning before, that despite whatever shortcomings we have, God always appreciates us, never depreciates. Next question was, how does one deal with the violence towards doctors instead of being appreciated? So this is very common in India, actually. I don't know about the other countries, but in India, of late, since the last 5 to 6 years, even before COVID, doctors and their hospitals have been a target for sort of injury and violence towards them. So Didi said that you are the one person, you are in one way, a doctor is one way next to God. So you have the power of God. So just invoke the supreme being God, and that can change the entire situation. A very beautiful answer. Next is, why can't I see my own positivity? So Didi said, maybe your thought level is very weak. So try to make your thought process powerful. It can then convert your negativity into positivity. And once you are positive, you exude those vibrations to everyone. So try to work on your thought level. So I think the last activity of action planning, which we did, was trying to focus on that point, that my words, I don't need to actually work on my words. I need to work on my thoughts. So then genuinely appreciation will flow from me. The next question was, I always give positivity, but receive negativity in return. So how to deal with this? A tough question. So Didi said, make a list every year of how many people maybe disturb my being or my behavior. And then remember those people. Something or the other in me has invoked that thing. So remember them, now invoke positive thoughts and send positive vibrations to them. And that should do the trick. Then This question I remember very distinctly asking Didi about criticism, what we call in our very polished language, I must say, constructive criticism. So people feel that in the professional world, particularly in medical, when we are reading a journal club or we are discussing an article or some research paper, we are always taught to look at that with a critical approach, because you should not just read it and say, oh yes, you have done a good work. So Didi said, I don't know much about that. She can't comment on that, but try to have a balance of love and law. I mean, it's a beautiful subject. I don't have time to cover this, but it's like trying to, if you look at your child, you should not be loving your child to such an extent that the child becomes unlawful and the child is spoiled. So it's having a slight, nice, delicate balance of being loveful yet lawful. The next question was, I always appreciate my brother, but he never appreciates me. So what to do? So Didi said it's a strong karmic account that you are returning to him. So it's important that if I want to ease out or sort of negate that karmic account, what I can do is I can just start appreciating him more and more. And the more I do it genuinely from inside, from my heart, not just to show him, automatically the karmic account will settle soon. I'll just take this last question. How do we expect improvement in the self if we keep appreciating ourselves? So this is a very important thing. People feel, oh, if I just keep appreciating self all the time, will I have any chance for me to improvise on? So it's not really right. It's good to always appreciate self and know what are my weaknesses. So Didi said, set a goal first for what you wish to achieve in life. And then on that goal, there is that lakshya, what we call, or aim and objective in English, lakshya. So once you start having that lakshya, beautiful, another word is lakshan. So all the things which you should be able to do to strive to that goal, then you can start doing it. And then appreciate those small, small achievements or small, small things which you are doing, which are taking you towards your goal. So I think with this, I'll just stop sharing. And we have with us Sister Moira, who's joined. And before I give it to her, I'll just briefly describe about her, and also, as usual, a small poem for Sister Moira. She was born and educated in Argentina, and just to let you know that she was a surgical nurse by profession. And right at the age of 24, the youth when she set out on this 2-year journey, searching for what is the true meaning of love, and is there a higher purpose in life which we need to look for. And that led her to meet Brahma Kumaris just on an incidental visit to India in 1986. And right from that year, 1986, her journey has started and no looking back. And she currently is the director of the Brahma Kumaris centers in Argentina. She really travels a lot and conducts a lot of seminars on many topics. I won't go in those details because it's 8:45 already India time. And I'll just speak a few words in the form of a poem for her. That Sister Moira is so careful and cheerful because she's miles away from being fearful. In her thought process, she's so essential and exudes the energy of being merciful. She has these spiritual experiences which are indeed bountiful, and she shall guide us today on how to make our life indeed beautiful by connecting with the Supreme and make ourselves indeed powerful. And a few lines on today's value, appreciation, or I must also say praise. We all have for Sister Moira immense praise. Through her talks, she helps our self-esteem to raise. The world is full of jealousy, madness, and craze, with a lot of discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, and race. So a lot of madness and craze around, a lot of distinction, creed, and race around. Life has so many complications on this unending maze. It is like the cattle being haywire on the graze. But through sister's serene and peaceful yogi face, we indeed experience being under the Almighty's cool rays. So with this beautiful face around and Almighty's rays around, I would now invite Sister Moira to deliver her talk on appreciation. Thank you so much for joining. Over to you.
Oh, Shanti, Manoj Bhai, and thank you so much for this invitation, but for that amazing poem. You're so talented. It's just amazing. Well, what can I say? I've heard so much on the past hour, your workshop. I also heard Vedanti Didi's talk last week and your recap just now. I liked everyone's input in the workshop. And so I thought, well, what can I say now? And I thought I would change course from what I had in mind, because you have heard so much of what appreciation is. Giving it is this subtle perception that captures the value, the intrinsic value and worth of anyone and anything. And I was thinking, I mean, you've heard a lot, but I was thinking, what is it that gets in the way of us being appreciative? And I want to talk about my personal experience first. And I think you've mentioned many things. Vedanti Didi did as well. But I want to focus on what I call cancer in the soul. And that is criticism. And criticism has been so legitimized. As you were saying, Manoj Bhai, you are requested as medical professionals to be critical about whatever you're looking at, the papers or researching, and you have to have an opinion about things. So we're so used to thinking that being critical is a good thing. But we also know that when we are criticized, we feel hurt. And so that would be the very reason why we do it ourselves too, because we are hurt. And I think that, you know, for many years, I have been a very critical person myself. And I have valued I have this value of justice. So whenever, especially when I was training as a surgical nurse, that things were so unfair in this public hospital. And I remember that we were working, of course, for free, and the government was supposed to be educating us. And we were once obliged to stay. We used to come in at 6 a.m., leave at 1. And then we were obliged to stay in the afternoon to help the young doctors in their practice of new techniques for the colon surgery. And so, but they kind of imposed that on us. And I was so angry about this because I felt that we were being abused by the whole system. We were not asked. And so I created in the hospital a revolution. And if, you know, it was a big war between the nurses and the doctors and the director. And so we won the battle because the director finally called me and said, you know, what is it that you want? And I said, I want you to respect us. I want you to ask us if we are willing to help you, because you are kind of counting on us after we leave at 1, having served for so many hours, and you're not even concerned if we have anything else to do or if we would be willing to do. And so it was, you know, I was mad. I was literally mad. And he said, okay. And I said, you write to our our school of nurses, and you politely ask everyone if they would like to help, And those who are willing to help should join you, you know, very, very willingly. And those who don't want to do it shouldn't do it. And so he did that. So that was it. But my lesson there was that this was really no way of reaching my goals. And it was, and that taught me that I won the lesson, but I was extremely unhappy. I felt so empty. And this was just an experience, you know, when I was training in hospital. But I asked myself, why is it that we criticize? And it's coming from a space of emptiness. I had a reason to fight there because nobody cared for us anyway. I mean, Argentina is a wild country, maybe wilder than India. So unless you stand up for your own rights, there's nobody to care for you anywhere. So, but I thought, you know, why is it that what I want to say is that I could have done things in a different way, but I was very angry. I was completely non-appreciative of anything that the hospital was offering us, which was free education anyway. And that was a big lesson that left a deep hurt within me. But then I think, you know, why is it that we criticize people, and what happens? What impact does it have when we do that? Because of course we want to be appreciative, but sometimes we may wake up with that aim and we want to see the value in people, the value in their performance. We want to see the goodness in a situation, but we end up seeing the half empty glass. So we could, you know, think, why is it that we do this? And of course we would say, it's a sanskar, but what created that habit, that inclination to seeing negativity instead of seeing what is beautiful, what is valuable, what is worthwhile? And so I think this is such a crucial time to look within and realize that the appreciative eye that is able to perceive value, if it is not clean, if it is not healed, even though what is valuable is there and is obvious, I may not yet still see it. So healing within requires very silent introspection. It requires us to really look within. When we are critical, when we are jealous, when we are angry, all the things that get in the way of appreciation are coming from a place of hurt and a place of emptiness. And that might have started maybe in our childhood. Sometimes we carry traumas from very early life, and we don't know that it has become like a filter through which we see reality. And although we theoretically know that being appreciative is what I want and what is good and what I should be doing, I may still be hooked into sanskars or habits or thought patterns that take me the other way. You know, sometimes a conversation, we in the Brahma Kumaris encourage ourselves and our students and our community to have pure thinking and good wishes for everyone, like see what is good, see each other's specialities. Then we find ourselves having a cup of tea and maybe a conversation starts in a very positive way, but it might not take too long before that conversation it slides down into some form of criticism or comments. Sometimes we think we start in a very kind of innocent way, and then it goes straight into seeing negativity. And when we criticize, we are radiating very low energy. So we sometimes we are criticizing something that we want to repair, and we want someone to come close. We would like to solve a conflict, or, you know, come into a conversation that has been too delicate and we haven't been able to face. So, but behind that person, we talk about that situation or person in a negative way. So what we're actually doing is we are, in a very subtle way, invisible way, making that one distant more and more from me, because I may not say anything, and I may not, you know, I may not express it in my attitude, but the vibration of my thoughts and feelings definitely reach others and create an atmosphere. So when we are critical or jealous or angry, we will find that we will become lonely, and people will gravitate towards others, and I will feel left aside. And I may not even know that it's what I'm thinking. So appreciation is really born at the level of thought. So the other day I was thinking, we have this freedom to choose to have a clean mind, to have a clean heart. And it's not based on what is happening, because sometimes when we get angry or we object things, we justify the fact that that is happening, that is really happening. And this is why I'm thinking about it. And this is why I feel the way I feel. And so somehow we project on others or anything outside of me the fact that I feel the way I feel. But when we become aware that I can only feel the way I think, and this takes me back home to myself, to this space where my thoughts are created, and I have this freedom to choose what I think, even of that which is negative or provocative or unappreciative, because sometimes I may want to be appreciative, but then sometimes I am disrespected. So what do I do with that? Am I able to handle that in an appreciative way? So a big lesson that I learned was that all these negative reactions or behaviors are not original. They are learned behaviors. They are not intrinsic of the soul. So this is where meditation can help us so much, bringing us into that deep silent observation where we can identify the qualities that were mentioned in the meditation and that we are able to experience when we become the observer, the silent observer. But on the other hand, there is also the accumulation of habits in which these negative emotions have been stored, and they trigger an influence in our minds. So at the time in which, for example, if I'm being disrespected, I would probably just react instead of responding in a respectful way. So if we take responsibility for the fact that any expression of me as a being, as a soul, is my creation and is based on what I think of whatever is happening. Suppose someone is provoking me and is insulting me. So if I react, then I could think, what is it that makes me react? Is it what has been said that is making me react? Or is it that I am thinking about what has been said, and what I think about that is what is triggering my reaction? I never get angry, or no one really ever gets angry because of something that happened outside of them. It's really something to do with me, my thoughts. So if at the level of thought, no matter what is being said, I am able to have an appreciative response to a situation in which I choose to think what I want to think, regardless of what is being said. And then, you know, the example that comes to my mind is my greatest inspiration in life. And this is the founding father of the Brahma Kumaris, Brahma Baba, whom we sweetly call Brahma Baba. He had to face so much when he was starting this global university. He was breaking through India at a time in which women were not valued, at a time in which whatever he said was taken in a way that created a lot of reaction. So he was defamed publicly. The daddies who were co-creators with him had to go through a lot of violence within the homes because of lack of acceptance, because of lack of inclusiveness of something different. And so, but he was even taken to court. But what was his response to all of this? He saw in every situation there was benefit. Hard to see when everything is against us or everything is in chaos, to be able to appreciate, to be able to hold on to the truth that you stand for, that you deeply believe in. And he was a peaceful man. And so he stood up for peace, a completely non-violent response to a society that was attacking him in every possible way, through the media, attacking his family, the students that were coming. And yet, his feelings were protected because they were coming from his deep self-respect. Brahma Baba became the observer of who he was, in the understanding that we, you, me, we all are spiritual beings, beings of light, divine energy, the living force within that being expressed through our body. And when we become aware of not only what I am, not the body, but the soul, but who I am, and the importance and the value and the worth of the part that I play, then that deep sense of self-worth that we call self-respect is the place from where we can trigger appreciation for whatever else is happening. And it doesn't matter how someone behaved towards him, Brahma Baba still kept an elevated vision of those who were opposing him. He didn't create ill feelings because he would have become then ill himself. And he somehow knew how to protect his integrity, his own safety within, by being uninfluenced from what was going on around. Now, this is a very high level of appreciation, because when everything is adverse, to be able to see that eye that is able to sense and look through beyond the behaviors, beyond what the scenes, beyond people's words and attitudes that could be piercing your heart, yet that eye was able to see beyond and connect with the soul, with the being that the other is. So I think that appreciation is born from cultivating this vision of who we are as spiritual beings and who those around me are as spiritual beings. And it'll take a lot of transformation, because you know, and this is where I come back to myself. I've been so critical, and like every year I've had this determined thought that I should be appreciative. I should stop seeing others, or stop seeing their weaknesses, stop seeing or speaking about their defects. And what we learn here in Brahma Kumaris is such a gift that we, each one of us, have inherited from God a speciality. And a speciality is that which, well, I tell myself, that power that attracts us most from God himself. When we think of him, when we remember him, when we contemplate on his qualities, what is it that we draw from him most? That is what we treasure and accumulate in the self as something that will flow very naturally in any and every situation. Our speciality is the light that it's God's light that shines through us in a very, very unique way. That is what makes you a jewel, a gem, someone of amazing value, someone who is worth of the purest divine love of the Supreme and the recognition of everybody else. So I think that we, seeing, and we have this kind of slogan in the BKs that says, recognize your specialty and just pick specialities. And so we use a metaphor, which is very beautiful, like a swan. The swan as a refined bird that would feed on refined herbs, different from other birds that feed on dead bodies. And this is just a metaphor of discernment, of the clarity that we need to have when we become silent enough to recognize what makes me unique, and therefore it enables my vision to see what is unique in you. And so a speciality, sometimes people say, well, I don't know which is my speciality. How can I know what makes me special, different, unique from others? And so we can all become observers of our own life. What is it that you naturally do? For example, if something needs to happen, there are people who will naturally organize and articulate things so easily. And for others, it's such hard work to plan, to put it together, to bring, create a team. But for some people, it's just so easy. Other people will just take care of relationships, and they're like teddy bears. And so they would make sure that, everybody is okay, that nobody's upset, and that we get on together and we come to consensus. And so they're loving souls. Some are really clear and practical and strategic, and others are very loving. And so others may be very quiet, and maybe they may seem as if though they are kind of invisible, but they have a power in their way of being observers and in the way of interacting that adds a lot of value. And they kind of amalgamate, they bring the parts together in a very invisible way. And so that may be their specialty. And thank God we're all different. Because imagine, once Ken, the director of our schools in South America, asked us in a retreat, he said, think, what would it be to live with 2 or 3 like you? How would you feel? And so he said, Moira, how would you feel if you were to live with 2 or 3 Moiras all together? I said, well, I don't know. And so I appreciate and respect the people who live with me, who appreciate me as well, but who also have to put up with my weaknesses. And so it's so interesting when we develop this vision that sees each one's worth, each one's speciality. And the wonder and the gift of that is that when we see each other's specialities, we realize how important it is to be together. Because together we complement each other. For example, I live with a sister in our center in Buenos Aires, Dr. Ashok Mehta, you know her. She's Amalia, a very, very gentle soul. I call myself a creator soul. I go out there and I like to make things happen and I open doors. But then someone has to be, behind you or in front of you, if you like, but sustaining it, taking care of it. I could create a garden, but someone has to go and water it and take care of it. Well, maybe I don't do that so much, or to some extent, but there's someone that can do that so beautifully. Now, appreciating her would be giving her the space and the recognition that is required so that the soul can do that. And I think that in leadership, it's so important to understand each one's value, to realize how, when it takes me to do or to say and to be in front, but then when I step back, when do I step aside? And wherever I move is based on the vision and the value that I'm giving to others who will step in and play their part. And this is the magic of teamwork. Successful teamwork is really the result of this foundation of appreciation that we can have for each other, and this synergy that we generate together when we can do so much more than if we just added each one's task, in a linear way. But we interact in this, and it blends the beauty and the possibility and opportunity of every moment that makes our life so unique, so special. But I feel, and this again, back to my experience from these 2 years in COVID, in which we had this chance to look at ourselves, to recognize, to raise the level of awareness of my own self-worth, took me through a lot of healing. And healing can only happen. I mean, you're all medical. I was only a surgical nurse for a couple of years when I was 20, but you were in the medical field. So you're there, you are the healers, you're the ones. You're the ones that the whole world has been looking at. But what about the self? I mean, what would the world have done without you all? You are so precious to every individual in this whole world. And yet, we all as individuals need to now make sure that our heart comes back to one. And this is where I feel that my greatest appreciation goes to God, the Supreme Being, the Divine, however you may call him, and how his pure energy can bring my heart, which might be in pieces, and become one again. And this requires very, very sincere and open conversation with the Eternal Father, and share my heart with him, and allow his divine energy to clean the soul. Because unless I heal, I will continue to look from that empty or broken space that will not allow me to see the beauty in whatever lies in front of me or around me. So I think that appreciation starts with the self, as Vedanti Didi very much emphasized. And in order to be able to appreciate others, or even appreciate the value of my contribution, playing my part, I need to understand that I need to become truly happy. And so this cleansing and healing needs to take place, and it takes place in a very intimate cocoon of this relationship between the soul and the Supreme that we call meditation. Life is relationship. Relationship with myself, with God, with others, with nature, but meditation is specifically this coming inward to connect with me, going upward to connect with the Supreme, and then outward to offer that to others and also to nature. We need to heal our relationship with nature, but it will all come from however much I am healing myself. So I would like to invite you all to a moment of silent reflection in which we allow that energy that brings light into the self, that empowers the soul, and allow it to clean and heal. Because I think this is, at least from my experience, I've gone a long way on this journey of also healing and made myself very light. And I realized that the quality of my relationships with my companions in the BK Center, my family, and the people I meet has changed so much, so much. I still have a way to go, but I realize that I've become someone who can enjoy moments, people, and opportunity just very much more naturally. And I'm aware that I have to be careful that my mind doesn't go back to the half empty glass, that is able to value that we have a half full glass. And it's all a question of perception and choice. So this is what I feel is very important. So I would like to invite you to sit comfortably and take a deep breath and allow your body to relax. And if there's any tension or discomfort or any negative feeling or thought, exhale it. Breathe deeply and exhale anything negative or uncomfortable. And let me bring all my awareness and my attention to this sacred space behind my eyes, where the living being, the being of light, the pure living force, is sitting in my presence, in my company, and I am aware of myself as a spiritual energy, different from my body. The energy expressed through my eyes, through my smile, through every attitude. The energy that gives life to my words, to my actions, and every interaction. It's me. It's I, the soul. I look deep within myself to perceive the calm, the quiet, coolness of my inner peace. I am free from influence, from fear, from worry. I am light. I go deep into this feeling of peace. I'll take my attention further into silence, beyond the mundane, beyond my body, beyond anything temporary, into a dimension of silence, back home, where I, the soul, come from. The world of silence, of peace. In the presence of the divine, of the Supreme Father, of the one who is ever pure, ever peaceful. He is the source of pure love, unconditional love. And as I allow the rays, the light of God to shine into every corner of the soul, feel totally accepted. This is the love that has no questioning. This is the one that accepts me as I am. This is the love that heals the wounds of the past. Pure love, God's love. This is the love that makes me free, that allows me to be who I really am. A pure soul, a powerful being. Holding this beautiful feeling of acceptance. As I look into his eyes, I can see my own beauty reflected. And I bring back this deep feeling of self-respect, self-worth. And as I return, to play my part, and I can trust myself that I will be able to see the good in everyone, in everything. From this place of self-worth, knowing that I am deeply loved by God. This self-respect. I am a child of the ever-loving one. With this pure vision, I will appreciate that which is eternal in everyone. And as I come back, I allow this feeling to spread throughout my entire body. Taking living energy, a light of love, of peace into every cell. I allow this energy to spread all around me. My pure feeling for everyone. Shanti. Very beautiful exercise that I did that allowed me to heal and appreciate my father, my Lokik father, my physical father, was to identify that when I was a little girl, I had gone through some violent moments, and unknowingly, I carried that throughout my life for a long time, for decades actually. And that became a filter that didn't allow me to appreciate who he was. And having done a very sincere effort to heal, it cleansed completely. And I realized that my father passed away this year from COVID. And for me, I felt that I had a very pure relationship, that I could appreciate even his death. I really felt that everything was cleansed, healed, and that my vision was healthy. And this is, everyone around me was in so much sorrow, but I was celebrating a pure connection that allowed me to give such deep respect to his soul, to his very last breath. And I'm sharing this because I know many might have lost their dear ones as well. And to be able to because respect is a form of appreciation, and to be able to see benefit in everything requires me to be whole again. And I think this is something we need to give a lot of time and attention, because this is the time, the most auspicious time, where we are able to claim that right of having whatever we need, providing we recognize what is a need and what is our aim, what it is that we want. And harmony in our relationships and unity is really what it's all about right now. Thank God, everything has changed, not so much doing and doing and doing. I know for doctors, it's been doing and doing since the beginning of this pandemic, but it's also a time for deep transformation and to come back at one unity within myself, between my head and my heart. I need to bring them together. I need to bring my family together. I need to be able to harmonize with everyone, and this requires this very fine eye that can see beauty, value, and worth. So, Om Shanti.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sister Moira, for this deep meditative experience as well, and also trying to help us develop that appreciative eye for the self and for others as well. Thank you so much. And with this, I would now officially want to invite our seniors, first Dr. Ashok Mehta, to propose the official vote of thanks. Over to you, Dr. Mehta.
Om Shanti Moira Ben, from a long distance on the Zoom. I have had a very good experience of spending a lot of time with Moira Ben, both in Chile and in Argentina. And I have seen her as a most pleasant and a person with a appreciative and energy just flowing out of her to everyone. I've also seen her managing the centers so beautifully. The teamwork is so precise and so good. And everything is so beautifully done in an appreciative way. And I think whatever she has presented is perfect, as we all would love as the students of Raj Yoga, that we have learned appreciation from the Supreme Father, from him. And I think he has appreciated us as we are, and we came with lots of deficits. And I think the essence of appreciation lies in the knowledge of Raj Yoga. Thank you very much, Moira Ben, for spreading your beautiful laughter and your beautiful energy to all of us. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Dr. Mehta. You left a memorial in Chile and in Argentina. People are remembering you. You have inspired so many with your visit and your humility, your dedication, and your own transformation. So thank you.
So thank you, Dr. Mehta. Over to you, Dr. Claudia.
Om Shanti, Sister Moira. Although we are close countries, but we don't get together that easily. So I just see you by far away, because since I start with Brahma Kumaris, I am in Vancouver. So I just had a little bit time sometimes when we were in Madhuban, but not so close. But I appreciate very much your talk today. It was very nice and practical, because you point that sometimes, when you are in some position, you are threatening, people get angry because they don't get what they want. And you show how Brahma Baba used to go through this. Of course, he had to go, because since he started, he is like, for us, it's like, okay, the way how he could do it, I can do as well. So he showed us the way how we can do in those situations, understanding, accept the other one, and then move forward, so we don't stay in our weakness. We don't get that negative environment. So I really appreciate, I like also how the way how you put at the end about your own experience. So that shows to many people who needs that, feel that experience, the acceptance, and then appreciate your talk about that. So thank you very much from the depth of our hearts. And I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and all the best for you and for the whole family.
Thank you. Thank you all. And also Happy Christmas. And may you all start a very, very powerful, enlightening year. Thank you.
So thank you so much. And after all this Thanksgiving, can I just quickly do the announcements, Moira sister, a few minutes, and then we'll take leave. Yeah. So what reminds me of Sister Moira is I had met her at Om Shanti Retreat Center. And she's very well known for organizing these silence retreats, which are held very regularly for the Latinos. So it's a Latino silence retreat. I'm sure all the Latinos are missing those retreats, but they'll start soon. So why it reminds me of this, because I wanted to share the screen and tell you for the upcoming silence retreat, which is there in next 12 hours. For India, it will be Sunday morning. And for the West Coast, it will be 12 hours from now, 7:30 p.m. So as all of you know, we complete the 2-week exercise, what we did on the virtue of appreciation, and we move on our journey towards mercy. Why mercy was selected? Because it's a value which is closely held to Christ, Jesus Christ. And he also said God is mercy, and Christmas is just around the corner. So we have started the silence, we actually finish the value or complete the value with the silence retreat, but this time we are doing it the other way around. We'll be having the silence retreat first, after which then we'll have the talk by our respected Jayanti Didi, all the way from London. She was very kind enough to give us this opportunity because Christmas is a very busy time for all the centers abroad, particularly in the West, London particularly, I must say. But there she'll be helping us to understand this value more. That is the episode 29th. And after which, as usual, our journey goes on the workshop. We have Sister Pratibha joining from Kenya, Africa. It will be next year, I must say, the 1st of Jan. Again, India time evenings and morning times, early morning times for West Coast. And this is our elegant calendar, which you'll will be getting in the emails as well soon. And feel free to provide your feedback, write into us on our emails, vihasaindia@gmail.com. You can visit our website, vihasa.in, and all these workshops, everything is recorded. So please feel free to watch them later if you want to take some notes. And as it is, we'll be sending you all the review materials soon in the next week of whatever we have covered. The workshop YouTube playlist is omshanti.tk/workshops. So with this, I'll just stop sharing, and we have done the meditation. So thank you so much once again, Sister Moira. And yeah,
We'll
Anu,
take
sis-
picture.
yeah,
Yes.
we'll just take a.
Thank you, Manoj, and
Yeah,
congratulations for this amazing initiative with all these workshops. It's just a wonder. You're doing such beautiful, beautiful service to humanity.
So, Sister Moira, we always take a picture for all the participants so that we can keep your beautiful smile and that appreciation with us. So, thank you so much. So, I'll request everyone to open your videos so we can take a picture with Moira. I give a few seconds for all who may still want to decide. Okay. Okay, now. Once again. Yeah, I got it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sister Moira.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. All the best to you all.